Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Hartford Whalers franchise mode series here on NHL 18. And today we finally finish simming the 2021-2022 season. Of course, we have 19 games to go. Things are looking good. It is the day before deadline day, and the question is, were we going to make any last-second moves? And I've put some thought into it. I've gone back. I've looked through the trade block. Unfortunately, someone like Morgan Riley isn't available at this point. So spoiler alert, I'm not getting Morgan Riley. But I've looked at all of my options, and we will, in fact, be making one more trade. Now, I'll say this. When it comes to the offense, we're going with it. We picked up Colin Wilson in the last episode. Hopefully he can kind of continue to do as well as he was doing before we acquired him. He might not have been, the best option. We could have gone with someone like a Mike Hoffman, but again, I felt like he fit in with this team pretty well. The problem with Kosarenkov is, yes, he's on a two-way deal, but he is waiver eligible. We cannot send him down without potentially losing him, so he's going to stay. And even someone like a Connor Brown at this point. I like the idea of having our fourth line be, a combination of defense and physicality. And like I said, this time out, we're going to take a different approach. Is that second line a guarantee to perform in the playoffs? Absolutely not, especially with Andrei Burakovsky. But they've done well so far. This team is in first place. For the most part, we're going to keep the core together. The one change is going to come on defense, and this is where I'm really concerned because I really like Cam Fowler. He's had a great season for us, but we already know that he doesn't want to re-sign. And again, I'll show you guys our current situation there. We have, I believe it's actually more than a couple of players. I was going to say two. There's a couple of players at this point that don't plan on re-signing. Fowler's one of them. Wilson's one of them, which is fine. He's a rental. Same with Del Zotto. And I'm all right with letting go of Connor Brown at this point. Someone like Ryan McDonough, of course, is willing to re-sign. So along with Fowler and not wanting to lose him for free, there is also the problem of potentially having to overpay to keep both of our goaltenders again. And Joonas Korpisalo, simply put, hasn't been good enough. So we're going to take advantage of Korpisalo and Fowler's trade value. We're going to make a move, and hopefully things continue to go as well as they have. And Malcolm Subban's going to be our starter. It is such a risky move, but he does have one of the higher save percentages in the league. 18 games, or at least 18 appearances, 12 wins. We're going to give him a chance because there's really no guarantee of keeping Korpisalo at all. I mean, look at what we had to do to keep him this year. We had to sign him for $9 million. He's not delivering. We might as well go with the hot hand. And now, of course, in this deal that I've already worked out, we are going to be bringing in a backup goaltender who is more than capable, in my opinion. And this deal will be done with the Philadelphia Flyers, who are also having a pretty damn good season. Now, I already said we were trading Fowler. Take a guess. What defenseman am I going after? Is it Provorov or Ghost Bear? I'll tell you in 3, 2, it's Provorov. We're going after Ivan Provorov. Pronounce it how you will. Ivan Provorov is going to be the next defenseman that we add to this team. He has 2 years left, which is pretty crucial for us. At least we're not trading a defenseman in Cam Fowler who has an expiring deal for another defenseman who might not sign. And, I mean, of course, he's still 25 years old. He could get even better. And having a Provorov-Josi top pairing, that sounds incredible. And, of course, I mentioned, getting a goaltender back as well. And that's actually going to be Anthony Stolarz, who, again, much like Malcolm Subban, having a pretty damn good season. So I feel like that as a 1-2 punch could work out pretty well. And we'll send Korpisalo there. Now, as far as who else we're able to pick up in the deal, I mean, it's tough because I imagine we're going to have trouble with them being like, oh, we'd have to send this guy down on waivers. Why did I not highlight both players? What is the matter with me? What am I doing? I'm so off my game. I got to pay attention. There we go. So we get these two involved in the deal. Of course, you have Korpisalo's ridiculous value. Cam Fowler, of course, is a valuable defenseman. We need to find a way to make up some space there. But remember, they don't want to trade Provorov. So, I mean, that bar is a little bit closer than you would think. So, potential options. You have this defenseman, Chris Ronaldo, an offensive defenseman. 22nd overall pick in 2021. Forward-wise, there is somebody like Barrett, but I don't know if we'd be able to pull that off. Of course, we don't really need any other forwards, so at that point, we'd be looking at Martin Necas, Robbins, and that's pretty much it. So the best option is probably just to go with draft picks, but I think, even if I were to go 2 first-round picks, I think they would accept that. Just flat out, I think they would accept that. So I want to try and put a little bit more into this deal. And you know what, for the hell of it, because they want to trade Ronaldo. Would they do that? Provorov, Stolarz, 2 first-round picks in Ronaldo for Korpisalo and Fowler. You might be thinking I'm crazy. I might not be. I might be a little bit crazy. Ronaldo probably throws the value, a little bit too far into our favor. Again, so someone like Barrett, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, we're looking at potentially picking up Martin Necas, which would be a decent enough pickup. Or we can still go after Ronaldo. Or just picks, in fairness. You know what? I do wonder. Let's say we go and just have Necas in the deal. If they accept this, I'm good for it. Sweeten it just a touch. Okay, so that's how close we are. That's how close we are. So we could make this happen. So we could get Necas if we just throw in a little bit, or I could go for Ronaldo. Ronaldo, again, 71 overall at 19 years old. He's playing down in junior this year. So what do we need more? A prospect forward or a prospect defenseman? When you look at our forwards, I mean, Lakonen, Roberts, and then you got, the group of low elite players. I mean, there's a lot of them at this point. So, we could use another forward. On defense, you got Lundqvist, Liljegren, not exactly a prospect anymore. Valimaki, Yuri Hadobin. Let's be honest, we could use a little bit of health, a little bit of help with both. Health? We could use a little bit of health, yes. Yes, indeed. I need to heal. I'm going to go with Necas. I'm going to go with Necas because we are going to have to throw a little bit back into this, but we should be okay. I'm going to try to use these players I'm never going to sign first, just to see if we can get it to go through. So we have Bruin, we have Denny. Is that enough to make this happen? Not yet. How about Ivani? Is that enough? No, it isn't. That's unfortunate. We'll try the 3 bottom 6 forwards. We'll put McCann into the deal. Is that enough? Still no. All right. We're going to have to work this out again. This is pretty much our one big trade. And this is pretty much it. We got Lindsay, Chirine, DeSantis. DeSantis is 20 years old. I'm all right with putting him into this deal. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, just to get rid of him, how about Bruin? Because he's absolutely terrible. Will that go through? No, because they'd have to put Sanheim on waivers. All right, you know what? If I throw a little bit more value back their way, I shouldn't have to really complicate things. I don't really want to take Sanheim back. So how about Chirine? Is that enough? Yes, it is. So there you go. Might not have even had to throw Chirine into the deal, but what's done is done. Joonas Korpisalo is a Philadelphia Flyer, as is Cam Fowler, but in return, we pick up Anthony Stolarz, we pick up Ivan Provorov, and we pick up Martin Necas, who is not waiver eligible, so that is a beautiful situation for us. The question is, will this kind of, mess with the team's chemistry a little bit? We shall see. And of course, now we have to rely solely on Malcolm Subban. which is a scary, scary thought. So Senyshyn will be taken out for Connor Brown again. So we still have Senyshyn. We still have Del Zotto there. But it's now Josi and Provorov as our top pairing. And again, I didn't see this coming. Malcolm Subban is the guy. We have two goaltenders that have had great seasons so far, but they haven't quite been starters. Now is the time to prove themselves. This is it. Our season depends on their success. Now, I'm going to go best lines just to, kind of bump up this team a little bit. Let's drop Zajac down to the fourth. Or not down to the fourth, down to the third. That's good enough. And with the goaltending, we're good. We are good. Martin Nakash added to that prospect pool. And, of course, Warren Dirksen will be ready next year, which I'm extremely happy about. You could argue calling him up this season. We might as well, though, just keep Connor Brown. I mean, yeah, I could trade Connor Brown for a draft pick. We're not going to get much for him. Might as well just keep Connor Brown, let him go, and call up Dirksen. I mean, Dirksen, here's the problem. Dirksen could change to a third pairing guy or to a third line guy, and that could cause some trouble. But if he's down in the AHL and he makes that jump, it's not really too big of a concern, and morale-wise, they don't seem to complain. So the obvious move is to trade Connor Brown, call up Dirksen. We're not going to do that because the morale system is weird. I've learned my lesson from some of these things in the past. So just have a little bit of faith. That's all I'm saying. Just have a little bit of faith that I know what the hell I'm doing. All right? Even though somehow this team is a hell of a lot better than I thought it would be. But that is pretty much it. That was the one trade that I had in mind. We still have, again, 19 games to sim. Let's see just how well this works out for us. Again, we have proven to be a pretty streaky team, all things considered. We'll win 5, we'll lose 5. I'm intrigued. We have a 10-point lead, if I'm not mistaken, on our opponents. We lose 5-2 to Montreal. Can we at least beat Colorado? We're not going to find out for a moment. So let's take a look. Where are we scouting at this point? Where are we scouting? Germany. All right. Off to Germany. Can we beat Colorado? Yes, we can. All right. So we trade wins and losses to start. I wanted to see what other moves were potentially made, and we still have that 10-point lead. More than likely going to be an 8-point lead. I have a feeling the Dallas Stars will win the next game. I have no idea who they're playing. Just an assumption. So let's see. Rasmus Ristolainen, oh my God, was traded to San Jose along with Jake McCabe for 2 prospects and a first. Eriksson Ek to Detroit for Josh Anderson in the third. You had the Provorov deal. Wow. So, wait, what? So Minnesota traded Josh Anderson to Detroit for Sven Andrighetto, and then Detroit included Anderson along with a third to get Eriksson Ek from Minnesota. So why would the deal have... I mean, I guess you couldn't do a third-round pick and Andrighetto for Eriksson Ek, but that's essentially what it was. That's a weird trade. Damon Severson's also a Shark. Good Lord. So the Sharks have added Ristolainen, McCabe, and Damon Severson. Buffalo also made another deal. Reinhart, Gergensons, and 2 others to Arizona. So the Buffalo Sabres are selling. Chris Kreider's a Duck. John Merrill to Philadelphia. Yalmerson to St. Louis. That must be weird. Zaitsev to Detroit. Shea Theodore to Winnipeg for Eric Comrie. Wow, there were quite a few moves. Quite a few moves. We'll just slowly scroll through the rest of them. There you go. So, worth checking because there were some blockbuster deals in there. Ristolainen was technically available, and that's an option I explored, but Buffalo had an issue with having 6 goaltenders, and that really complicated things. So it just didn't work out that way. But trust me, I explored the idea of trading for Rasmus Ristolainen. That would have been incredible. Much like the idea of trading for Morgan Riley. We had that option in the last episode. We didn't go for it, and then wasn't there by the time I wanted to actually, take a look at that deal. It is what it is. I'm happy with Provorov. We managed to get a nice little 4-game winning streak, but we have lost 2 in a row, including getting killed by the Dallas Stars, which doesn't really help for the division title race. And with 12 games to go, the lead is down to 7 points. The St. Louis Blues hot on our tail. All right. Would it be tail if you're defining the team, or would it be tails because you're, saying it's the entire team, individual tails? Can you tell I'm a little bit anxious that we might absolutely blow this and not win the division title? Can you tell? I'm just a little bit anxious that we could completely screw this up. Although we did beat St. Louis. That was a massive win. We beat Philadelphia, lost to New York, beat Arizona, lost to Detroit, lost to Columbus, but we did get the pity points. So we continue to be a fairly inconsistent team, but we do have 48 wins on the season now. Let's take a look at the standings. We are in first place. We have locked up a playoff spot, and we have a 5-point lead on Dallas with a game in hand, so that is great. We have 6 games left to go. They only have 5. So we're looking good. We just have to win out here to make sure we don't throw this away. Easier said than done, I imagine. And we also don't have to play anybody that we'd really worry about losing to. A couple of Western teams, of course, we are in the Western Conference, but we're not playing Dallas, we're not playing St. Louis. We did get back-to-back wins against LA and Pittsburgh. If we beat Calgary, that should do it. And that should lock up the division title. Let's see, we'll go to the Czech Extraliga. Can we beat Calgary? Yes, we can. The 1-0 shutout. That should do it. That should seal the division title. And indeed, it did. I think it just sealed us the conference. Are you kidding me? Let's take a look at the standings. 51 wins, 108 points. And we are right there with 3 games to go. I mean, it's a 3-horse race between ourselves, Tampa, and Carolina for the President's Trophy. What a season for the Hartford Whalers. Well, let's see now if we can get a little bit presidential, shall we? It's possible. It is possible. Mitch Marner, almost a point-a-game player. Not too shabby. So we play Winnipeg, New York, and Florida. The Jets, probably not a playoff team with only 38 wins, which means we will lose. Well, we might not have lost, but we did lose Gabriel Carlson for a little bit of time. We'll put in Del Zotto, and we lost 3-1. That probably ends the President's Trophy hopes, and an overtime loss to the Islanders definitely ends it. Can we at least end the season on a good note with a win over Florida? That is the question. Let's get this lineup set. We'll take out Del Zotto for Carlson. There we go. And can we beat the Florida Panthers? No, we can't. So we head into the postseason on a 3-game losing streak, which is not ideal, but of course, we won the division title. Sure, we didn't win the President's Trophy, but that's okay. A 51-win season for this Whaler team that we honestly thought would decline a little bit. We ended up finishing 4th in the league, but we did finish with the Western Conference crown, so that's not too bad. 1 point behind Pittsburgh. They still have a game to play. Carolina's there, and then if Tampa wins, I mean, Tampa already has the President's Trophy locked up. So there you go. By the way, the Connecticut Whale are going to the postseason as well. So a great season so far for this franchise. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at our stats. We'll take a look league-wide, even though some teams still have a game to play. Mitch Marner did lead the team in points, 74 points in 82 games. Very happy with that. Daniel Sprong, 70 points in 82 games, 32 goals on the second line. That is unreal. David Pastrnak, 69 points. Nice. Liedeke, 61 points in his rookie year, 28 goals. He missed 3 games. Who knows if he would have broken the 30-goal mark. He has a decent chance to win the Calder. Nolan Patrick also picked up 61 points. 58 for Andre Burakovsky. There was such a big question mark when it came to his future on this team, and he really stepped up this season. Of course, we acquired Provorov. He finished with 54 points in 72 games. Colin Wilson didn't really do a whole hell of a lot for us once we acquired him. Maybe he can step it up in the postseason. Roman Josi missed 22 games, but he still finished with 41 points. Ryan McDonough with 32. Kosarenkov and Gardner with 27. Connor Brown with 21. Liljegren with the same. Radish with 20, 16 points in 54 games for Senishin. Tierney with 14 points. Delzato with 14 points in 48 games. And you had Carlson with 8 points. Jones with 8 points. And Phil Crosby, 2 points in 4 games. Travis Zajac had 1 point, 1 goal in 3 games. The goaltending, Subban declined a little bit, as did Stolarz. That's a little bit concerning. Subban finishes the year with 33 appearances, a .922 save percentage, 26 appearances for Stolarz with a .925. Now again, the reason why I was willing to give up Korpisalo is we have a certain somebody named Vyacheslav Mikhanov coming up through the pipeline. A season, maybe 2, and he'll be NHL ready. So I'm excited to see what he can do. We'll take a look at the AHL stats in a moment. First, we will look league-wide at what happened. We're also going to take a look at our progress report before we call it an episode. So Vasilevsky won the most games. The save percentage king was also Vasilevsky, so I'd look for him to win the Vezina Trophy. But you still have Stolarz up here and Malcolm Subban. So, interesting numbers. I did try to, I looked at Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, but Montreal, again, kind of a weird situation with what they were able to do. Let's take a look league-wide really quick, shall we? Steven Stamkos, 101 points. It could get even better for him, so he's without a doubt winning the scoring title. And by far, he put up the most goals, unless Evgeny Malkin has one hell of a final game to his season, or Vladimir Tarasenko for that matter. It's going to be Steven Stamkos leading the way. Andre Palat, 74 assists. Thank God we're not in the East, because Tampa, that's a scary team. That is a scary team. But again, you get a look at the point totals. Patrick Kane's up there, Kucherov, Connor McDavid. So interesting that McDavid ends up at 90 points. Who says he doesn't always sim well? My question is, though, are we going to have a Calder winner? Oh, I think we're just going to miss out. Oh, no. Julian Shattenkirk. Nick Suzuki. A few more points. I think Liedker with 28 goals. Maybe he has a chance. Tough to say. 28 goals, a plus 33. If it always goes off a point total, then it's going to be Shattenkirk. But maybe Liedker has the outside chance because he missed more games and still had 28 goals. That'll be tough. I'd really like to see him win the Calder. But there is no guarantee at this point. And judging by the goaltending, it is going to be one of those 3 players. Down in the AHL, because I want to look really quickly at how our team did. And Phil Crosby was tearing this league apart. Mikhanov with a .913 save percentage. Allen with a .912. Not too bad. Good enough to get to the postseason. Phil Crosby, 81 points in 78 games. He missed a little bit of time because we had to call him up. He could be an unreal player for us. 93 offensive awareness. Can you imagine if he can translate this scoring to the NHL level? 63 assists. That is unreal. Yusuf Valimaki with 31 points. Hansen, 24 points in 27 games. That's not too bad. He was a pretty damn good pickup for us as a depth signing. Not too shabby at all. And doesn't it seem like Lundqvist would have played more than 4 games? Seems like I was putting him into the lineup all the time. Sebastian Olsen with 78 points, 73 for Dirksen. Nate Cash, who of course we just acquired earlier this episode, with 65. Connor Roberts with 52. We have a pretty good AHL team. For the most part, it took kind of acquiring some players to really bring this team together, and having someone like Spencer Watson on the team, who probably shouldn't be there. But the team's looking good. Olsen might technically have the tiebreaker over Ellie for the goal-scoring crown. More goals for Ellie, a better plus-minus. So we'll see. And that's just for forwards. So Crosby took it. Phil Crosby, as a defenseman, despite missing 4 games, is going to win the scoring crown for the AHL. That is incredible. Olsen being in second. Dirksen's up there within the top 10. What a season for the Connecticut Whale. Dirksen led the league in goal scoring. He beat Robin Kovacs by a single goal. And then the assist king was Phil Crosby. Olsen was only 1 behind him. So an incredible season. Really, I mean, perhaps overperforming in the regular season at both the NHL and the AHL level. But it's promising. It is very promising as we head to the postseason. Now, we will take a look at the progress report before we find out for sure who we're going to be playing. Now, for Pasternak, statistical growth, he is up to a 90, still locked in at an 89 overall, though it's kind of weird. He's actually an 89, currently showing up as a 90. It's not because of the morale system either. Again, it has to do with statistical growth, which is just weird. Like, he went up 1 point in defensive awareness, 2 points in stick checking. His balance and endurance went up, body checking. But he's, I don't know, it's weird. So consider him an 89, consider him a 90. I would typically consider him an 89. That seems to be a little bit more accurate. And of course, we had some players improve, statistically or attribute-wise. So that's nice. But we typically look for the green numbers, which you'll see here in the AHL. For example, Bill McIntyre went up 3 points to a 73. Bowden's made it up to a 70. Andrews is a 68, as is Bodine. Hadobin went up 2 points to a 67. Jorgensen went up 1 point to a 63. Ellington went up 3 points. 2 point improvement for Sereda. 3 point improvement for Lang. Knutson went up. Williams went up. Let's take a look. I mean, yeah, we got no crazy progression, but a lot of our players did improve, which is a very good bit of business for this team. That's good. That's what we wanted. Now we just have to find out who's going to eliminate us in the first round of the postseason. That's what we get to look forward to, right? It's all going to come crashing down for us in the very first round, right? Let's find out. Who's it going to be? Who will the Hartford Whalers play in the first round? We know we have home ice advantage, and it's going to be the, drumroll please, Edmonton Oilers. We're playing Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. We have been put into the Pacific bracket. Oh, God, as you probably heard Emmy doing the whole dog head shake kind of deal. She just has to make her presence known, as again, she is just trying to scratch her ear off of her head. What's happening to my doggo? I have no idea. But we will play the Edmonton Oilers. We have been put into the Pacific bracket. They were the 8th seed with 88 points. We know they have Connor McDavid. It's not going to be an easy series, but we will take a look at their full team at the beginning of next episode as we prepare for that series. Guys, that will do it. We managed to avoid disaster. We won the division title. We won the conference. We might not have won the President's Trophy, but things are looking pretty good, and we'll see if our strategy of just sticking with what's been working ends up actually working out for us. Of course, Provorov now fills in for Cam Fowler. The biggest question mark may be our goaltending, but it was either that or we lose Korpisalo at the end of the season for absolutely nothing. So pick your poison, right? But anyway, that will do it for this one. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, feel free to support the video and the channel in any way you deem necessary. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. Follow me on there if you have not already. And I will see you guys. Yes, you. Even you, John. I just went with the most basic name I could. There's got to be at least 10 Johns watching this video, right? Out of 1,000 plus people? How many Johns do we have in here? What about Tim? I still don't like Tim. Screw you, Tim. I hope to still see you next time, though, but screw you. I'll see you guys next time when we take on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round.